guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man issue 1. So I did receive this in my Marvel's Collector's Box a few days early, so I wanted to review the issues. So let's get started and talk about the cover, which is actually a variant cover. So this is for the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, because it was included in the box. But let's go into that interior artwork, which sadly I felt like wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. I feel like there was a lot of unnecessary line work in this issue, and also I feel like the detail could have been a bit stronger. So I think the artwork needs a little bit of work. It's a little sketchy. Even the inking, I think, needs a little work, but I think that has to do with the sketchiness of the pencils. Coloring's good, though. Like, that's very bright, works for the tone of the book. But yeah, artwork could improve a little bit, hopefully, in these upcoming issues. But let's start with the story now. So, with this issue, we get to see Peter kind of being that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man again. There's a lot of old school Spider-Man stuff here. A lot of references to older Spider-Man comics also, which I thought was fun. And what I liked about this issue is that it hit really a lot of the comedic notes. I feel like the recent Amazing Spider-Man series, you know, obviously you have those one-liners, but I haven't felt that that comedy from Spider-Man as much as I want to, because it is taking more of a serious tone with Peter being the head of Parker Industries. But here we get to see that Spider-Man's just this friendly neighborhood superhero, even though he's still the head of Parker Industries and all that. This is kind of what he does when he's not doing those things. And you get a lot of classic dynamics here, and one of my favorites being Johnny and Peter. I love that's how it opens up. Love their friendship and their banter. And there are some, like, little jokes with them that I think land very well, like how Peter opens up with his origin story and Johnny's like, I know this like the back of my hand. You don't have to tell me this. So that was a lot of fun. Also, Peter meets a new girl, and she's a stand-up comedian, and I'm really curious to see where that goes. So I'm glad that they're also adding new supporting characters. We have a conversation with Peter and Aunt May. That was cool. But I will say the story kind of slows down a bit for me when they introduce Mason, which is a character in the Marvel Universe. But I feel like that portion of the story was kind of forced. I didn't love the direction of, I guess, the adventure Peter is going to go on. So even though it's kind of lower tech than what we usually see with Peter, and again, it's more of a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man thing that he's going to be doing, I feel like there could be a little bit more depth of who he's looking for. But a nice cliffhanger of the issue is that Johnny's waiting for Peter for something, which I think they could have explained better in this issue too. But spoiler alert, we get to see the return of Peter's sister. So if you read the graphic novel that came out maybe like 2 or 3 years ago now, there was the introduction of Peter's sister, and it was only really played in that storyline. It was still introduced in the 616 universe. It was all part of the timeline. Remember, it was like a big deal that it was part of that timeline, but no one ever really picked up on that thread. You know, Spider-Man just kind of went through without really mentioning his sister. So it's nice that we get to see this series is picking up on that thread, especially because this series is more about Peter and his supporting cast. So I'm excited to kind of learn more about her. You know, we got a little taste of the character in that graphic novel, which I haven't read since it came out, so maybe I'll have to reread it now going into this storyline. But I'm excited to see her as a supporting cast member, and like I said, just kind of learning more about her. So overall, there's definitely a lot of things I liked about this issue. Again, I like that the jokes landed. I like the supporting cast members. I think the main plot with Peter utilizing Mason could have been a little bit stronger. Like, who is he looking for? I think that aspect could have been a little bit stronger. And also the artwork kind of brings it down for me a little bit. But I like this as a first issue, and I think this book has a lot of potential. Also, I want to mention this is a $4.99 comic book. I personally didn't need that secondary story. There might be threads picked up with S.H.I.E.L.D. looking into Spider-Man. There might be more stuff with that. But I feel like that's very much the Amazing Spider-Man and what's going on there. I feel like we didn't really need the Black Widow storyline. But like I said, that thread might be picked up in the future, and that's why we had that short story. But it didn't really do much for me and to create this as a $4.99 comic, which Marvel's been doing a bit with their issue ones, especially their bigger issue ones like Darth Vader, Darth Maul, and now Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. So overall, I'm going to give this issue 3.5 stars. Still stoked to see where this series goes, and there's definitely a lot of potential for it. But let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this issue? This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.